Hello you guys, Abraxas here, and this sucks. I just recorded a video and the audio was completely messed up. And yeah, that really sucked because I actually did find a neutron star and I visited a Planemo and other things. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually view those things today. So if I go ahead and let's go to one of my videos here. Somebody left a comment saying I need to visit J1407, and the thing is, I've actually seen that planet before. I've seen it in one of Anton's videos, and it is actually, I'm still going to go to it, but it is a very cool planet, and if you guys don't actually know what it is, brace yourselves because it looks awesome. But first, I found this. It's a red dwarf. This was actually at the end of the video I recorded, but like I said, my audio was all messed up, so I guess that's why you test audio before you actually record a video. And, yeah, it's just really cool. I've never actually seen a texture like this. This is a really cool looking red dwarf. And its planet over here is super dim, and it's about 1.7 astronomical units away. It's just a little gas giant orbiting around it, apparently, and I totally lost track of it. There it is. But, as you saw right at the beginning, if I land on this, or land on a dark spot, like the one right here. Let's go ahead and land on this. It has a really cool little red glow. It's not super bright, and I just really like the way this looks. Of course, this is probably scalding hot, and I'm probably killing myself right now. But, yeah, really cool planet. Anyways, let's go ahead and go over to J1407. Okay, J1407, which, if you guys have never seen this before, me go ahead and just pan this camera around and you should see it any moment now. There it is. This is a gas giant over here, which, as you can tell just from this star, that ring system is huge. This is the biggest ring system we think we've ever found, and here is a small, adorable little gas giant in the center. This gas giant's actually bigger than Jupiter, if I'm correct. And the way it was found was basically, you can see the star in the background. What it did was, while it was passing or orbiting around it, you can see it flicker and make this, or you can see the star passing behind this, and it was basically flickering. But it was flickering in such a pattern that when it got to about this center point where the rings are more dense, right there, that's when it stopped flickering. So it just disappeared for a little bit. But then it started flickering again. But this pattern was interesting because at this halfway point, the flickering mirrored. So what that means is it was probably something around like a ring system or something like that. And by mirrored, what I mean is, like, you'll have a pattern here, but then when it gets to the halfway point and goes again, it'll be the opposite of the initial pattern. So that's why they think it's a ring system. We think this is actually like a proto-gas giant system, because we have a gas giant system like Jupiter, which has many different moons and stuff orbiting around it. Well, the reason why we think this is like a proto-system is this is a huge disk of like dust, matter, rocks, ice, whatever. Eventually, this huge disk will actually condense into many different moons around it, which is essentially what's happened to Jupiter now. There are still rings around Jupiter, but they're not very visible anymore. But we have a lot of moons to show for it. Something like Saturn still has its ring system and hasn't fully condensed into different moons. This is also how we think our moon was created around Earth, was we had a huge collision that ejected a lot of dust and other materials out into orbit around Earth, and that eventually condensed into our moon. And that's why we think basically the moon was created from Earth, because it has a lot of the same materials that Earth is made of. So that is essentially what's going on here. Eventually these rings will condense into many different planets, or moons rather, over billions of years. But that's not the only thing that's interesting about it, is because this is also how the solar system is created. Or other, not really solar systems, but star systems, planets that are condensed around stars, as they'll have the same thing going on. In fact, if this gas giant in the center was actually larger, it would actually heat up and cause fusion because there's so much mass condensed in a small area. And that is essentially how you make a star, is just by having a bigger, like, gas giant. We don't know if this is actually enough matter for it to actually eventually condense into this gas giant to make a star, or at least a brown dwarf or something. But that is essentially what happened to a star like that. Is the way you get a planetary system around a star is at the start of these systems is there will be a huge ring, like a disk of like dust and other materials that'll eventually condense into planets and orbit around this. In fact, one of the remaining rings around our sun is actually the asteroid belt that we know about. And it's not really very dense anymore, but like, yeah, that's like kind of like the remnant of a ring pretty much around the sun. Anyways, that's all I wanted to really go over with. This is a beautiful thing. I'm sure a lot of people have already seen it. And it's just kind of one of the things that are not really randomly generated in SpaceEngine, but they're just kind of created for the sake of just accuracy, I guess. Because SpaceEngine randomly generates a lot of its content, but things like this are, I do believe, made by the developers as like little anomalies in the game. So these are always fun to find. Anyways, let's go over to a neutron star. I wanted to search for a neutron star, but it did not actually end up working out like that. And PSR is what you want to look for if you're looking for a neutron star. PSR abbreviates pulsar. So let's go ahead and go over there. Boom. And that is a pulsar. These things are freaking beautiful in this game, because when you actually zoom into them, you get the same lensing effect that you get with black holes and stuff. You can see that little star cluster just being bent around it. The light, it also blue shifts as you get closer, just like the black holes and stuff. But if I go ahead and just turn down the magnitude, and yeah, I think these are really cool because they actually show the lensing effect better than the black holes typically do, because typically the accretion disk is in the way. But when I zoom in very slowly, you can see the light is all bending around me. As I look back, everything's all blue shifted, and once I land on it, oh wow. Okay, this thing's actually spinning. So if I pause the game, this is landed on it, and as I slowly pull out, it does the same effect as a black hole. So I think these are really cool looking, and if I land on it again, yeah, I'm on a round object, but you can't really tell. Yeah, I think neutron stars are just absolutely amazing in this game. This was actually another comment request, though, is that I should go check out a neutron star, which, if you don't know what a neutron star is, it's basically the remnant of a very large star that basically went through a nova, and this is like the remnant of it. These are super dense. Like, they can't really get any more dense without compressing into a black hole, pretty much. If I was to be anywhere near this thing, you would expect to basically compress like a slinky, like straight down into a pancake, and probably be torn apart. So this is very tightly packed. Like, a spoonful of this would probably weigh as much as like a mountain, pretty much, like a mountain on Earth. So yeah, that's just a kind of like a little rough explanation of like what a neutron star is. These things are incredibly dense, and that is also why they have this lensing effect, is because light is actually bending around this object. Anyways, yeah, these are really cool, and if you have the game, I totally recommend you go and just look up PSR and then just go to one of these objects. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next object. Okay, I'm back, and if I search for this object, I was kind of disappointed when I first found this in my last recording, because this Reddit that I read had me believe that this thing actually had life around it. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. Here it is. Do you see it yet? It's a little bit dark. Let me get the Milky Way behind it. It is a rogue planet. So these are super cool. These are planets that are actually not, let me go ahead and fix the magnitude here and the exposure. These are planets that are basically rogue. They don't have a parent star. They're not orbiting anything. They're just traveling through the galaxy. Maybe one day to be stuck around the orbit of another star, maybe pulled into something, or just drifting away. But these are super cool because, well, like I said, it's a pun. They're actually super cold. This one is negative 252 degrees Celsius, which is getting rather close to absolute zero, which I believe is 273 degrees. Negative 273. 0.15? Something like that. Yeah. So these are just planets that are just out in the middle of nowhere. In fact, if we actually had interstellar travel, I wonder what would happen if we actually just ran into one of these. Well, I know what would happen, but I mean, would this be something to actually worry about? How frequent are these? Like, are they between stars constantly? Well, nonetheless, I looked this up on Reddit. This was said to have life on it. Like, frozen ice world with life, but I don't know if that was just a bug in the game when this person took the screenshot. I'll link the Reddit post down in the description. But, yeah, this is a cool little gas giant here. And last time I checked it out, there was a moon. Let me see if I can find that real quick. It is super hard to find just because this thing's super dim. Okay, there's the moon. Yeah, I could have just done that. Which is just a small frozen ice world. Apparently there's a way I could turn up the not the exposure, but like the luminosity of the planets or something like that. I couldn't figure this out last time I recorded it, and if you do that, you can actually like see the planet's surface, which I don't know what I just did. I'm on the planet. Okay. Yeah, you can kind of see the hills. Like, there's a hill right there. There's another hill. So yeah, you can actually land on these planets. You just can't really see anything. But nonetheless, that is a rogue planet. I'm gonna see if I can find another one real quick. Okay, I'm back. Wait, what did I just click on? Where was that? Where was it? A carbon star. These are pretty rare. I like these. They look like it's like dried up mud or sand or something, and it's just kind of cracked. Yeah, these are pretty rare. Carbon stars. Basically a star made of diamond. Fun. I had one of these, I think, in one of my previous episodes. It's just, when you click around, you don't really find these too commonly. In fact, I run into a lot of binary stars. One thing I did discover, though, was binary stars are more common towards the center of the Milky Way, or galaxies, rather. I guess that kind of makes sense, since there's actually more stars there. But, yeah, pointless rambling. Let's go over to that other rogue planet real quick. What did I do? I click on the right thing? Where am I? Where is it? I know it's there. What galaxy am I in? Oh. What is this? This is a dual planetary system? Let's see. Frozen ice world. Frozen Selena. Let's go to the ice world. I found this in another Reddit post. That's a star cluster, isn't it? Pretty sure I'm in a star cluster. Am I in a star cluster? Oh, I am in a star cluster. Okay. This was another one that apparently had life around it, but I think that was just a bug and they fixed it in the game. Is that the Milky Way? I'm pretty sure that's Milky Way. This is just outside the Milky Way, isn't it? This is. Okay. Yeah, apparently it's moon. The Selena here had life around it. Again, I'm not really seeing that, but this is a cool little, I don't even want to say that's a moon. I almost want to say it's kind of a dual planetary system. Look at them. They're pretty much the same size from what I can tell. I think this one's slightly smaller. That or I'm just further away from it. Let's see how these orbit. Let's turn on orbits. Oh yeah, this is a little tiny dual planetary system. That's cool. Oh, there is. I guess there was possibly a bug earlier on in the game that basically allowed these things to actually have life. But I guess they don't do that anymore. So that's a bit of a shame. Because we all want life around a rogue planet. Theory, though, with that is that you could actually get a gas giant that is massive enough to basically cause, like, tidal shift. Looks like a little mold spot right there or something. Is that the Milky Way? That is the Milky Way. Okay, so what is this? Oh, we're at the Small Magellanic Cloud. Okay. Look a little bit familiar. Yeah, basically there's a theory that if you were actually at a rogue planet, because we have like extreme files and all that kind of stuff in caves and whatnot, if there was actually enough tidal shift with a moon or something around a massive gas giant or something like that, or a brown dwarf, basically what can happen is it'll actually generate enough heat within the planet to allow for life, basically. Even though it may be like inside rocks and all that, and might be like methane based or something like that. Something crazy. But if there's enough like heat or whatever, you could actually have life around a rogue planet. It would just have to be in the rocks and crevices of the planet itself, or the moon rather, that's orbiting around a gas giant. So it's just a kind of cool little theory. Let's see what else we can find. I mostly just came here because of the name Rushba. Or Rushba or something like that. Well, dual star system. Yeah, nothing too interesting. Nothing too interesting here. Just kind of a funny name. Yep. I think that's just based on like region or something of the Milky Way. Probably. Koi 4274. White man sequence star with a little tiny scorched desert right next to it. It's tidally locked too. It's very hot because you see like the red glow around the sides here, so I'm assuming this is probably all molten. Whoa. Whoa. That's a cloud. Is that a blue star? White main sequence star. That's got like a really blue atmosphere going on. Just kind of drift through and see what this looks like. Let's see this little sunrise that has going on here. So I guess that's what it looks like when the sun rises here. The atmosphere is not too dense. Probably because the atmosphere is probably just being cooked away by this thing. Got a yellow dwarf with 2 planets around it. Kepler 11642c. Let's go to that. And very molten. This planet is basically a lava pit. It's very red. Let's go back to the search function. I see those are galaxies. I don't really want to go to a different galaxy. GJ 618.1. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn off orbits. That's actually just kind of getting obnoxious. Oh, we got a brown dwarf. Oh, it's got like a little spot in it too. Around, no, these are orbiting around each other. Red dwarf and a brown dwarf. Red dwarf is just slightly bigger than the brown dwarf, I assume. Let's see the diameter. Yeah, quite a bit bigger in diameter. The mass is quite a bit higher. Let's see. Yeah, I like the brown dwarfs because they always have very big auroras around them. Which if I hit play... Yep. Got like a huge spot here. I don't know if that's like a storm or something, because all these are just super large gas giants that did not quite make it to fusion and become a star. So this is probably like 50 to 100 times bigger than Jupiter, pretty much. It was not a successful star like this one, which is a red dwarf, which is basically just on the verge of being a successful star, or actually is a successful star. The red dwarfs are typically pretty dim. Yeah, you lose them pretty quick. Got something dimmer over here, though. Yep, another red dwarf. That was actually a fair-sized red dwarf. This one's much smaller. Okay, so we have some things called 2 mass. Let's go to these. Found a red dwarf next to a nebula. What nebula is this? Does it have a name? Well, let me click it. Oh, hello. It's not letting me click that nebula. It might be because I'm actually in the nebula. No, it's just not letting me click that. I can see that's the large dimensional lighted cloud. That's tiny little. I assume this is just a randomly generated nebula. The Antares Nebula. Which actually, isn't that... I think I've clicked that before. I think that's actually next to... Is that what I think it is? Yeah, the Carina Nebula. Okay. So yeah, this is actually pretty close to home. Which the Carina Nebula has a lot of stars in it. Let's check out a star inside the Carina Nebula. Let's go for this center one here. Oh, it's a binary star. Okay, let's click on this star. Yellow dwarf. See what we got orbiting around this. We got a frozen ice world, which is going to have the amazing disco effect going on. Yeah. We have a cold Terra. I always like the Terras. They always look the coolest. They're always like seemingly very Earth-like. The atmosphere composition is like mostly CO2. Actually has a pretty strong greenhouse effect going on, 20 degrees Celsius. And the temperature of the planet itself is negative 29 degrees Celsius. So, cold by our standards, but actually not that cold. There is the star. Yeah, especially considering its distance, and isn't that just a... Yeah, it's just a yellow dwarf, so it's kind of like our star. It almost looks like it's supporting life. Is it supporting life? I don't think it's actually supporting life. I think that's a life texture, though, like a plant texture. You know what? I think this planet is actually supporting life. But the game is just not actually mentioning that in the name. Actually, yeah. I guess plant life can't survive off carbon dioxide. This is interesting. I think that is the actual plant texture they use in the game. I could be wrong. Is there any bald spots? Or is it all just green like this? It does certainly lose a texture in some places. This is a very interesting find. Let me... Oh, wow. What have I done? Okay. The planet is called RS8474 1357 789 79 61 1162. You can see it in the top left here. If you just go ahead and type this into this thing and just hit OK, it'll bring you over to this planet. Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah, it looks like it supports life. Doesn't say it in the title or anything, but I'm certainly seeing the texture. That is a very interesting one. Doesn't look like there's anything noteworthy around the star beyond this. Let's see what else is also here. Let's slow it down a little bit. Another star right here, binary. Let's actually go to this larger, no, also binary. Got a dim star here, orange dwarf, binary again. Let me guess, binary? Oh, nope, yellow dwarf. Ice world, temperate Selena. Let's go to the temperate one. I don't know why I expected anything more from a Selena. The most disappointing of planets. And let's see if I could just go to a dim star, such as this one. Little orange dwarf. What do you have orbiting around you? Ooh, we got a green name. What does green name mean? Ooh, here we go. What? Wait. I assume it means one of its moons have life. No, aerial life. What? Is this trying to tell me that this gas giant has life, or is it telling me that one of its moons have life? What? Temperate asteroid. 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 Let me guess. Asteroid? Asteroid. I think what it is trying to tell me is that there is apparently life in the atmosphere of this gas giant. I don't think I've ever heard of anything like this, and if you guys want to visit this yourself, it's over here in the top left. Let's see what else. We got a frozen titan over here, which on the picture looks cool. Okay, so we have like this nice black and orange going on. Its composition is nitrogen, and what is AR? Excuse me for not knowing the periodic table very well. Wow, that is actually a pretty dense atmosphere. And its temperature is negative 204 degrees, so I assume this is probably liquid nitrogen. Very cold planet. Yeah, this thing has certainly thrown me off. So I see a green name with the star, so that means when I click around, if I find a star with a green name, so I could just do this? I don't know. You would think being this close to a nebula, though, you'd probably just kill everything that is life on that planet, but I could be... Oh. Wait a minute. I clicked on another star. It says number of planets 6, one with life. Let's go over to this yellow dwarf. And we got something... Wait a minute. Does this gas giant have life? It's got a green name. Oh, wait, it has a moon with life. Which one is it? How do I view that? There it is. Cold ice world with life. Organic unicellular. It's interesting. Look at that red red effect it has going on around it. Okay. You got my attention. What's going on here? Ooh, bit of lag. Let me correct for this real quick. Let's turn down the level of detail and turn down the loading speed. Should hopefully fix that. I'm assuming the unicellular texture is this one? Is this supposed to be like some kind of coral reef thing going on here? I see something. Something's here. I think this is life it's talking about. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, so this is the Zerg homeworld. This is creep. So I'm assuming the only reason why we're not seeing anything here is because all the Zerglings and Hydralisks, they're all just burrowed underground. So that's what's going on here. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Wait, what's this? Is this the same thing? The texture load, I did turn down the load time. Okay, yeah, definitely confirm. This is well, this isn't Char, but this is certainly like a Zerg planet or something. So, yeah, that was an interesting find, I guess. Let's go over to the next planet. So, let's see if I can find another one with life. So I assume I can just click on any of... Oh, wait. Or was that? Wow, I didn't even actually notice this setting before. Okay, so this apparently has life. Frozen Titan with life. Exotic unicellular. Marine terrestrial. The temperature is negative 197 degrees. So this has marine life, I guess. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to see that in the game, but nonetheless. Get out of the water real quick. I really think this game needs to get like a little wave effect. Let me hit play. Yeah, it does have a water effect, but it's not really that cool. It'd be cool if it had a wave effect. Like a little tessellated wave effect that you see in like game engines and stuff. Hopefully they add that eventually. What did I just do? I'm in the ocean. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna actually be able to see any of the life on this planet because, well, unless that's life. That might be life. Might be like some moss or something that you would find on a beach. It looks kind of like life. It's green. Yeah, got something going on here. Of course, that's surviving in some rather very, very cold temperatures, but I guess that's life. What kind of life? I have no clue, but that's life. Let's see if I can find one more. Just keep clicking on random somethings. Damn, how long is this video? I've probably been recording for a while now, just rambling on. I guess while I click around, my channel has actually gotten like 300 views since, actually close to 400, since that video I made. That last Space Engine video I made, noting that I had 1,000 views. So that's really cool that that's actually progressed a lot. And I actually really do appreciate that. There it goes, caught back up. I'm assuming I'm running out of VRAM and my computer's probably on the verge of crashing. Or it's because I'm just clicking on stars too quick and it's having to load the planets. Didn't think about that. Oh, here we go. Got another one with life. So yeah, I got like 1,400 views or something like that now, and that is just incredibly awesome. I know on the big grand scheme of things, that's not too many, but I mean, I only have like 15 subscribers, and I just kind of upload like whatever I really want to upload, so the fact that I'm actually getting that many views is kind of cool, and it took like a year or something for me to even reach 1,000, so I guess the fact that I'm just uploading more commonly now is actually just increasing that. And let's see what we can find here. That's not life. That is not life. What is this? Okay, so we got a volcano. Looks like it has a whipped cream topping. What is this life? Organic, multicellular, cellular, marine life. I'm not seeing any. I'm seeing a sand texture. Maybe it's like in the water right here. No, guess not. At least the temperature is a little bit more manageable on this one. It's negative 2 degrees Celsius. Which we have oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and sodium, or not sodium. I think that's sulfur? I don't know. It might be sodium. Is that what SO is? No, sulfur is not SO. I don't believe. Yeah, I think that's sodium. So the composition is correct. The temperature is a little bit off, but that might just be average temperature. In places where the sun shines, or the star rather, shines the most, there is a possibility that it's possibly warm enough. But if we lived on this planet, it would certainly be cold. This is not like the warm, temperate planet that we're really used to, but I think we would actually survive on this planet. There's volcanoes everywhere. This is super active, like volcano-wise. And I like the atmosphere. It's not quite blue, but it's got like a green tint to it. Where did that star just go? I'm trying to refrain from calling them suns, but you know. Oh. Okay, there's a star. So if I go ahead and go down here, let this render in and probably crash the game due to running out of VRAM, and hit play. Oh, that's why it's lagging, because I already have time moving. And I'll just end this video with a little sunset thing going on here, star set, or what is this called? RS8474 1357 7 89 78 54 10 58 set. And let's just see what this looks like. You know, I think it's fading. No, this is what happened in my 4K video, as the lens flare kept traveling through the planet. Don't know why it does that sometimes. You see the galaxy slowly appearing in the background? Is this actually going to fully set, or is it just rotating around? I don't know. Anyways, it's been a while since I've done one of these Space Engine videos. I figured I would make one. Anyways, if you guys like the video and like what I do, go ahead and leave it a like, and I plan to make many more videos, so it would be very appreciated if you subscribe. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.